Welcome to Geo Capitalist, where we decode global wealth one power shift at a time. Grab your coffee and focus in, because what you're about to hear is real, documented, and dangerously underreported. It didn't start with a speech, it started with a post. On June 5, 2025, Elon Musk took to X and casually claimed that Donald Trump's name appears in the Epstein files. No elaboration, no context, just enough to shake the foundation. More on that later. And for anyone paying attention, it was the clearest signal yet. Musk is done with Washington, done with the parties, done with the alignments, done playing within a system that, in his words, punishes the builders. He's not defecting, he's detaching, and he's building something else entirely. A third force, a new platform of influence that doesn't need permission from Capitol Hill, and might already have the attention of BRICS. So today we're going to break it down. Not the rumors, not the noise, but the actual geopolitical architecture Elon Musk is quietly assembling. It's bigger than a tweet. It's bigger than Trump. And it might just be the most disruptive play in modern history. Because this time it's not Washington watching Musk, it's the world. Before we dive deeper, make sure you're subscribed. Your support keeps us independent, algorithm-proof, and focused on decoding the truth. This is why Elon Musk is ditching Washington for China and BRICS, and nobody's talking about it. Let's get into it. It didn't happen overnight. For years, Elon Musk was treated like an eccentric ally, courted by Republicans, tolerated by Democrats, and weaponized by both when it served their narrative. He was praised for job creation and punished for dissent. But by mid-2025, the tone shifted. After clashing with regulators, mocking both parties on X, and rejecting what he called the illusion of choice in American politics, Musk began testing something bigger. In July, he floated the idea of founding a new party. Not on a debate stage, but with a simple poll to his 180 million followers. The name? The America Party. The plan? Disrupt from within by taking just a handful of Senate and House seats, not to rule, but to become the decisive swing vote on key legislation. Leverage without dependence. Influence without loyalty. Analysts laughed. Trump fired back. But the poll? Over 80% said yes. Then came the deeper cut. Musk called out Donald Trump by name, claiming he appeared in the Epstein files. No court filings, no details, just signal. And suddenly, the room went cold. Conservative influencers turned on each other. MAGA strategists fumbled for a response. And Musk? He didn't blink. One viewer put it best under our last video. Nothing personal, Don. Just business and reality. This wasn't rebellion, it was rejection of the entire machine, not just Trump, not just Biden, but the binary system that Musk now sees as outdated, corrupt, and unfit to guide the future. So he's building something else, a platform powered by satellites, software, capital, and code, not votes. One that Washington can't control, and BRICS can't wait to work with. There was a time when Starlink was seen as an American triumph, a low Earth orbit constellation, born from Silicon Valley ambition and boosted by Pentagon contracts. It delivered broadband to war zones, disaster areas, and remote communities, all while flying under the U.S. flag, until it didn't. In 2025, that perception collapsed, quietly but decisively. It began when the U.S. Department of Defense requested override access to Starlink during a classified operation. SpaceX refused. No backdoor. No exceptions. Not even for national security. The Pentagon was stunned. Within weeks, they retaliated, slashing over $4 billion in active and pending contracts. The message was clear. If Musk wouldn't play by the rules, he wouldn't be funded by them. India stepped in, fast-tracking Starlink across 5 states. Brazil integrated it into a $1.1 billion national broadband program. South Africa declared it critical communications infrastructure, placing it on par with emergency services and power grids. Even Russia, in carefully worded procurement files, showed interest in non-state satellite systems with tactical bandwidth, never naming Starlink, but clearly implying it. Starlink had become something new. Not American infrastructure, not national policy. It was a sovereign system, operating above borders, loyal only to its deployment strategy. A viewer absolutely nailed it with this question from our last video. Will we still see Starlink flying over California? Maybe the real question is, who controls what flies over anything anymore? What are your thoughts? Drop your comments below. I read every single one. Starlink isn't a tool, it's a platform, stateless, mobile, untethered from any government oversight. It's the first global infrastructure project that doesn't need diplomacy. It just needs altitude. And for countries eager to modernize without red tape, that's not a risk. It's a gift. Because when Starlink arrives, it doesn't come with conditions. It comes with coverage. Now let's shift gears and explore how Tesla is expanding across the globe. While Washington was freezing out Musk, BRICS nations were handing him the keys. India offered land. Brazil offered tax breaks. China? Something far more valuable, data sovereignty exemptions. In May 2025, Tesla finalized a new expansion deal for its Shanghai Gigafactory. But this time, there was a clause no one expected. Tesla was granted permission to store vehicle performance data on its own servers outside of Chinese government systems. Even domestic brands like BYD don't enjoy that privilege. And that wasn't all. In Brazil, Tesla secured a full-scale EV infrastructure rollout. No joint ventures, no IP transfer, no embedded regulators. South Africa approved Tesla's battery systems for national grid use. Not pilot projects, but critical energy deployments. India greenlit multi-region gigafactory development with rare earth sourcing flexibility, bypassing the usual U.S. export constraints. This isn't just globalization, it's strategic positioning. And it mirrors what BRICS has been building for years, an economic network where Western influence can't dictate terms and innovation doesn't need approval. And Musk? He's not just playing along, he's optimizing for it. One viewer captured it perfectly from our last video, commenting, "Go Elon, go BRICS," and another added with quiet brilliance, Confucius said, "If you want to be the best, associate with the best." What BRICS nations understand is simple. Musk doesn't need to be controlled, he just needs to be enabled. And if Washington won't do it, they will. Because in a world where geopolitical leverage is defined by infrastructure, Tesla isn't just a car company anymore. It's a passport to relevance. By the time regulators caught up, the machine was already running. Elon Musk isn't building companies anymore. He's building infrastructure, decentralized, borderless, and functionally independent, a full-stack empire that runs parallel to the state, not through it. Think about it. Starlink delivers internet without national carriers. Tesla manufactures at scale without local oversight. SpaceX launches payloads without relying on any one country's airspace. X, formerly Twitter, shapes political narratives globally, without FCC licensing. XAI is training language models with sovereign data centers in the UAE, beyond U.S. jurisdiction. This isn't diversification, it's decoupling. Musk has quietly built a geopolitical firewall, one that shields his operations from policy whiplash, legal interference, or diplomatic cycles. One Tesla exec described it as building a mobile supply chain, a compliance network without borders. In other words, if you shut him out in Washington, He scales in Shanghai. If you restrict his AI in DC, it trains in Dubai. If you cut his contracts, he replaces them with BRICS partnerships, no permission required, and people are starting to notice. As one of our viewers put it, this is what Apple and Google should do. Go global, out of reach of U.S. watchdogs. Musk, he already did. This isn't rebellion, it's a new operating model, and the real story isn't how Musk avoids control, it's that he no longer needs it. Now let's turn our focus to the Epstein files, Trump, and Musk's political split. It was just one post, no caption, no thread, no follow-up. On June 5, 2025, Elon Musk publicly claimed, on X, that Donald Trump's name appears in the Epstein files. There were no leaked documents, no legal citations, but the impact was immediate. Within hours, MAGA influencers turned on each other. Trump loyalists demanded retractions. Conservative strategists tried to spin the moment as misinterpreted sarcasm. But Musk, he stayed silent. And that silence was deafening. This wasn't just a swipe. It was a line in the sand. Because for years, Musk and Trump had maintained a kind of uneasy proximity, ideologically aligned on free speech and deregulation, but separated by style and ambition. Now Musk wasn't distancing. He was severing. Publicly. Permanently. Nothing personal, just business. And it might as well have been the subtext of Musk's entire move. Then came the real fracture. On June 5, 2025, just 72 hours after Tesla stock dropped 14.3%, erasing over $150 billion in market value, Musk lashed out directly at President Trump. He accused him of being ungrateful and declared he would terminate all active U.S. federal partnerships. The timing wasn't coincidental, it was retaliatory. A signal that this wasn't just political, it was financial warfare between America's most powerful entrepreneur and its former president. It came days after Musk floated the America Party and, Party, his proposed third political force, one designed not to win a presidency but to win leverage, not to serve a tribe but to block legislation, swing votes, and force concessions. And that made Trump nervous. According to CBS and Politico insiders, Trump's inner circle began strategizing how to drain Musk's money from 2026 GOP super PACs, a financial freeze before the idea gained traction. But Musk had already moved beyond party politics. He didn't need a seat at the table. He was building a new table entirely. And here's where it gets bigger. The Epstein files aren't just scandalous. They're symbolic. They represent the rotting center of America's elite trust structure. Private favors, sealed courtrooms, silent protection networks. When Musk named Trump, he wasn't just throwing a jab. He was sending a signal that the old guard can't be trusted, that new power doesn't come from influence. It comes from infrastructure. That's the message BRICS nations heard loud and clear. Should we dive into why BRICS nations are paying such close attention right now? The West sees Musk as unpredictable, but BRICS, they see him as useful. Because while Washington debates regulation, oversight, and party loyalty, BRICS nations are solving a different problem. How do you build next-gen infrastructure without waiting on outdated global institutions? That's where Musk fits in. They don't need him to be loyal. They need him to be operational, satellites in orbit, EV grids on the ground, AI systems in energy markets, fast, cheap, frictionless. Let's be clear. BRICS isn't just looking for capital, it's looking for autonomy. And Elon Musk offers what the G7 can't. Decentralized networks like Starlink that bypass state carriers, apolitical expansion through private tech, not foreign policy. Rapid innovation unburdened by bureaucracy or military entanglements. In short, function over diplomacy. And Musk gets something too. Access, data, scale, the chance to embed his technologies in the fastest-growing economies on the planet without congressional hearings or antitrust subpoenas. As one BRICS advisor reportedly said behind closed doors, he's not one of us, but he's not one of them either. And for now, that's enough. One of our viewers put it even simpler. If you want to build the future, maybe you need to walk away from the past. What BRICS understands, and what Washington still resists, is that the next global operating system won't come from state-owned agencies. It will come from platforms, from companies that move faster than sanctions, scale wider than alliances, and don't ask for permission to build. And in that world, Musk isn't a threat. He's an asset. Now let's shift our attention to Elon Musk. Do you think Musk is already operating outside the bounds of conventional politics? By mid-2025, Elon Musk's companies no longer looked or acted like American firms. They weren't lobbying for favors. They weren't playing by partisan rules. They weren't even seeking approval. They were detached, global, fluid, answerable only to function, not to flag. Starlink was active in India, Brazil, and South Africa, embedded in national grids. Tesla's AI was managing power loads across China. SpaceX was launching international payloads, nearly half for non-U.S. clients. xAI was training models in the UAE with no obligation to U.S. regulators. And despite rising pressure, no country banned them. Why? Because performance beats politics, faster internet, cheaper energy, better logistics. For BRICS, for Asia, for Latin America, it works. Germany launched a Starlink dependency review. Japan delayed approvals over command ambiguity. Australia flagged override concerns during regional tensions, but no one pulled the plug. Because this isn't defiance, it's detachment. Musk isn't fighting Washington. He's walking past it, and that's far more disruptive. Because it rewrites the equation. Power used to mean control. Now, influence means access. And Musk has access to satellites, to markets, to public sentiment, to governments eager for alternatives. Not as a politician, not as a diplomat, but as something entirely new. A platform-powered force that operates beyond borders, beyond ideology, and, increasingly, beyond consequences. So what happens next? That depends on whether Washington tries to pull him back in, or whether it realizes he's already somewhere else entirely. If you thought Musk pivoting to BRICS was a bold move, this might have only been the prelude. Because in a world where wealth, power, and politics are being reinvented, the players aren't just heads of state anymore. They're platform architects. And Musk? He's building one of the biggest. If you found this breakdown valuable, watch our next video. It connects directly to what's unfolding. And don't forget to subscribe. Your support helps us decode these global shifts without compromise. This was why Elon Musk is ditching Washington for China and BRICS, and nobody's talking about it. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.